Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 14 of Rannoch, our vanilla Boreal build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I've just been hanging out at the Geth Creators Library. Very cool over here, really enjoyed piecing this together. Last episode over this week, we're in for a bit of a road network planning session with a couple of interchange jobs, and then also a massive reforming job for our main interchange over here as well. Want to give this some different directionality today. Now, it's likely the project will kind of shift and change a little bit as more tiles become available. It's on a really awkward position. So ideally what I would like to happen is to have the line come out this way, follow the river up to eventually meet up with these roads over here, and then cross the river a little bit further up. But for today's episode we're going to have to make it cross over this river a little bit sooner, and then under the rail, and then it can merge into this landscape to eventually meet up with this road, which will probably now just cross the river by itself. But on the plus side, we should also get this road hooked into this interchange today as well, which will help hopefully alleviate the pressure that's coming down this road, because currently for the Sims, and well for cars anyway, this is the only way back and forth across the highway, which is obviously putting strain on it. So that's what we'll do today. That's what we need to fix. It's getting busy down here as well, isn't it, with the additions we made last episode. I don't mind it being busy now. I like a bit of traffic. Makes it feel a bit more alive, doesn't it? But this will only take so much more pressure, at least anyway. So let's start by opening the tile. So I'm going to go for this one right here. It's a 78% buildable area on it. And we'll be able to do lots of things out here. Are we getting any natural resource, I wonder? There's ore over here, so we could potentially do a proper ore mine. I think I was eyeing at one over here, wasn't I, I think? So over here, wasn't it? Yeah. So maybe we'll wait for that. But rivers, trains, and yeah, a nice bit of land. More land over here, really, which is where we'll build the second interchange today. I'm going to flatten all the terrain out here and just allow the bridge to cross over, because if we look at the terrain against the river, it's quite steep. I'd like to be a little bit lower down than that, especially considering I also have to come underneath a rail line. So let's get this set up and we'll rip out whatever we don't need here. Sweet. So I reckon that should do. I'm going to leave in most of the slip ramps here because it's likely we'll end up repurposing them in some fashion. So I want my new kind of centralized underroads here to flow as, I think, one singular road rather than splitting them off, I think is how we'll go for it. So let's bring in a 6-lane road with a grass median, and we'll line this roughly in the middle of all the networks here. So I want to be kind of basically in the middle here, I think. So why don't we do a straight road like that coming out. Now I don't want this road connecting like that. We'll split off the highway roads here as we join back to the couplet system this side. And then with this here, we'll also be able to cross over in multiple different directions. That gives us the baseline road. Let's just create a little curve here because I'd like it to kind of just meander off. Let's do 5 units at 3 meters. And ideally, I'd just like to cross to something like that. And then we'll do 5 units at 3 meters again. And that should see us over there. And then with the roads here at the top, let's turn back to the original intersection. I'm going to draw out with a bit of a dirt road so I get some snapping grids at the end of this road here. And then initially coming out of here, we're going to want, I'd rather keep this regular road if I can. I don't really want to be sending cyclists down here, I don't think. Not onto highway traffic. Maybe we can elevate a cycle lane over the highway somewhere at some point. So instead of that, let's do 3-lane one-way here. And then we'll do the same here again, just so we get those snappable grid frames. And back into my highway roads, I want 2 lanes, I think. come in just off of this one. So we'll do a little curve there. And then send that in. I'm going to downgrade this segment to a singular one. And that's also just slope out the terrain here as well. Should be quite a fun project. This, I think it's always, we talked quite a bit about it in Orchid Bay, but for those that maybe didn't see that series, it's really fun trying to piece together these custom interchanges to fill a landscape that you have. Cool. So let's have that go there. Can we upgrade that back to 2? We can with a redraw. Cool. So that configures that one. And then it goes off down here now. We don't need that particular slip anymore. We can come down to this central avenue. And then we can do the same thing again, exactly over this way. So that's one side, so we're going to split the traffic pretty nicely. I think that should flow quite nicely back up into the town there. With our central crossing roads, these will probably remain the same, although this slip ramp here that curves up will probably not be needed because we'll have a ramp getting back on the highway that direction now that this side of the highway exists. So let's create a little slope up here. And we just want to even that land out a little bit so a ramp can make it up. Seems pretty sensible for me. We'll probably go for 2-lane here. Now, where are we going to meet? We want to be doing probably out here, I reckon is the best shout, is it? Meet up with those guidelines, and then send that back in there. And we'll stick a 4th merging lane on the highway, heading back into the city there. That should keep everyone happy, which means this slip road can now be eliminated. And then let's reinstall those upper passing roads as well. Fantastic, so that's the upper highways restored. We now have another slip ramp coming back up off here as well. So I think this is where we'll introduce our new road. So I'm going to give, what's the best lane here? Probably some asymmetry, I imagine. So let's grab an asymmetrical 3-lane highway. And I want this one to run. It's a bit of an express lane here, back into the countryside. So I'm going to grab the 2-directional highway as well. We'll upgrade this segment. Now this can pass back by into this little road that joins up with the interchange. Now this will only be one method of relief eventually. We'll also have this connected in here, and these 2 arterials will also meet alongside the BRT and this road here. So lots more ways back into across will also help, plus our secondary interchange down here today as well. So all these little pressure relieving methods now come into kick in, I think. With this road here, I wouldn't mind having this. Can we come out of the same node here? Do we have the room for this? I think we do. And then we'll just go road, guideline, and curve. I think I'll be happy with that. But a little further down here, just as we slip off this way maybe. How about, is there a nice angular sort of segment we can merge into here? I bet there is. I'd just like to have kind of an interchange bypass road for people getting off the highway this side. Let's try and go, I think something like that, maybe. And I guess we can also upgrade this into 2-lane out here now as well if we want. So let's see how this flows. I'm really interested. It's obviously kind of a custom configuration here. I'm allowing different slip lanes to kind of bypass different directions. But let's just leave it to flow for a second and see what happens with it. After letting it run for a hot minute here, we're definitely still getting some pile-ups on the main road here. Pretty similar to backups to what it was when we started, so nothing's particularly worsened, but I think a key kind of avenue of exit here is this lane, isn't it? This way off is super busy with people trying to get around here. So I reckon what we might do here is improve our slip lineage before we move on to the next episode. So I don't mind this one here, this one's not really backing up, but I think what we can do is remove it from this junction, that way we take the extra entry pressure off. And then actually continue to sweep this road round in a fashion not too dissimilar to this, with a view to meeting in the middle. Now I also wouldn't mind another lane coming off here that meets in the same node. Now we might have to just break those top bridges again and realign where the pillars go, which I'm happy to do. Cool, so we're going with that. Let's get those roads on top back installed. Could even add dual lanes here on the off-ramp if we can, although space is already a little narrow around here. Maybe we can have one there, a little turn off. Like, that won't be deleted there, that's fine though. Let's also just arrange our asymmetry here too, where we had it, and we want them facing into the junction. And we'll have it here too, and maybe the little one coming up out of here as well, just so people have room to merge there. I think just to help encourage the AI down here as well. You are on the road actually, aren't you? Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, we can't change it there because we have assets resting on that road. I reckon we could even go for 4-lane one-way roads here as well. I reckon we can justify that there, can't we? Probably not on that one actually, but we don't need it there. Cool. So I reckon we won't really see the fruits of this labour here until we can get that next tile open this way. But either way, it does give people access into a different part of the city by coming under the highway now, essentially. So a few cars using it already. Hopefully as the AI adapts to the new network, they will continue to take it. But regardless, even after the change, the off-ramp here is still super busy. This is definitely our choke point here. There's just too many people trying to enter the city via this interchange now, because there's no other one. So I reckon that's what we'll do next. So over here, we will build another interchange. So I want to be quite wary of what we do here. We've got the slip ramps coming in from the big kind of national Y number here. There's no reason why we can't in the future have some more slip ramps come off of this to peel off into the city, depending what builds lay around here. But I definitely want another main kind of system interchange here, or at least a kind of a significant service interchange rather. So let's take away all the rail lines. I reckon we're geared up for a little bit more industry down here as well, possibly some mass garbage recycling. I think we're in need of that pretty soon, I think, so maybe a major processing plant here for garbage. So I would like to just have a little test here as to where we're actually going to come out here. So where are we going to deliver all this highway traffic to? I think that's quite an important point of this interchange. I think we'll keep this as an industrial service road to come out into an industrial district here. And the most obvious point is here, and I think that's where we'll go for. We'll just delete that recycling centre for right now. People can live in filth for another week, it's fine. So we'll go for a wide road down here. Again, I think we'll stick with some of our fancier stuff. Now, there's no plans to bring public transport down here at the minute, but we can easily add trams to this system if we ever need to. So I reckon over here, because we have so much space to play with, I think we'll go for a classic just regular dog bone and dumbbell interchange here. So we'll switch into our regular roads here. And we're not going to have cycling, I think, while we're right near what will become a very busy highway exit. So let's grab our 3-lane one-way roads. And given the fact this is highway, I'd like it to be a little larger than normal. So let's do a 6 deep roundabout. And I think rather than one single road over, we're going to brace the roundabout with the roads through the middle, and then we will do 2 elevated one-way roads here. So we'll grab the 2-way highway. And I'm going to draw it out of here first with a road guideline, so then we can actually match to that guideline with these elevated networks. So we'll do 9 meters apart. We also have road length on here as well. And then we'll just hope over to each side of the highway. We can delete that road now, and now we should be able to peel these off. Now we pretty much just want to mirror that on the other side. Cool, and then with them established, we'll likely just leave this as a blank 4-lane road to be developed into many different things. We do have a pretty enormous space here to fill in Rannoch. So if you have any build ideas for this space, do let me know. We're playing with some pretty interesting terrain. We are at the foot of one of the major hill spaces here. So likely we'll move into a nature reserve build down these valleys. It's the first time we're really probably exploring these now as build space, isn't it? They won't be too far away. We do have a little garden over here. You know, this is the only one we've found. Maybe this will have to be the Zinch garden for the map. And maybe we can make a nature reserve up here, because of course we do need to name one after Zinch and Corn as well, I guess, because we have had Nurgle's garden and the Slipper of Slaanesh, so it'll either be the Corn or the Zinch build. And then this one, I think. And then with the train line that we have left here, it does begin to descend, but I think we'll actually cut it back to the bridge. And then bring that embankment back into the interchange. So with this, we use a pretty wide space. You can always trim back what we don't need afterwards, of course. And then we'll have that pass over the roads here. We'll do slip ramps in a second. So I think we'll aim to have the rail flow something like this. Maybe have it branch off here too. We'll obviously smoothen this out when we can. Right now the tile boundary is restricting us. But this does head off back towards the outside connection, of course. But maybe we can snake it off a number of places here. Likely want to have a rail split off for the downtown over here as well, because we'll definitely have train coming into here. We've also got a train here as well, remember, so a likely train convergence here. Maybe we can even have this one loop around the other way as well. That would allow different access. Actually allow us to complete a full loop as well, of course. Because this line comes into this station over here, which is at the actually start of that line that currently ends over here. We could create a full loop with a possible train interchange there. We've never really played with grander scale train infrastructure much in vanilla, so maybe we can spend an episode in Rannoch looking at kind of major train work. Setting up significant lines as tiles opens. More likely when we hit 81 tiles we can have a look at that. Just future network prep whilst we are on the subject today. So now we want to hook up our slip lanes. We're going to use 2 lanes over here, I imagine. So just hooking at both sides, of course, where it makes sense. Cool. And that leaves us with a substantial interchange that we can add multiple little slip ramps off here as well. I think when we grab this tile, I'm also not averse to just peeling off some more little one-way roads kind of out of these spaces, you know, allow people to just slip off before then. Actually, there's a space we can do it here right now, you know. I reckon for this, we'll turn it into some kind of a higher access road. So for right now, I'm just going to have it like this, but when we build over here, slightly we'll change this road. But I'd just like to test that principle of having these little kind of octopus arms of slip lanes that peel off this main kind of super national Y interchange to develop into little city slip lanes like that. So it'll all help take pressure off, you know. So we'll do that, of course, as time grows. And this should now help take pressure off the other areas. Whilst we are here, we are getting quite bad garbage warnings across the city. We're well into the red now, so we have deleted a recycling centre this episode as well, so let's kind of remedy that. So I mentioned here, I'd quite like to have more industry. So let's bring an industrial road into this space, and I'm going to have some proper garbage solutions here. So we're going to go Sunset Harbour. Now let's just have a little ponder as to where this could sit. We're definitely going to kind of industrialise this river, I think. We'll keep a lot of industry up here. But let's just consider this for a second. Where do we want to be based? I think from the highway is going to be the most important orientation, isn't it? I think we'll go something similar. Let's have this front of the building facing toward the interchange here. That's going to be most effective, isn't it? So let's bring a nice big holding road directly in front, essentially kind of a frontage network. And then we'll have one waste processing site here. We may even come to expand this complex as a more modular facility as demand grows, but for the size of the city, one of these things will take care of it. Box this in, we've also got some industrial demand as well, so I might stick some industrial evolution down here as well, up against the river. Are we doing for sewage too? Perfect, we need sewage as well. Let's work that into here. Tap that there. That should take us back up. It will indeed. And now for these things to actually work, they also need their little orbital waste transfer facilities. So I'm going to have one here because I'd like this to service this particular area. We'll have that just behind that one there. This will service this area of the city where we've also got... Where's our other recycling centres? We've got one over here. We definitely don't want that. It's super residential. Nor there neither. So how about we have one up this way in the industrial area over here, just as another industrial unit of the facility. That should help keep our garbage pretty satisfied. Yeah, there we go. Making some decent money on that now. Get loads of progress there. We've actually got quite a bit over capacity, so let's bring the garbage budget down a touch. Let's try 80% of that capacity. That should probably help it. Yeah, that keeps us just in the green there. Nice one. So we've got the wiggle room to adjust that now as well. Very nice. Cool, so let's just have a little scan over now. Got some traffic building up this direction now. Of course. Wait, one door closes, another one swings open, isn't it? So how are we doing here? This road here is a lot less congested, isn't it? General flow, we're not gridlocking. It's just a busy service interchange coming through here, isn't it? I am noticing there's a lot of trucks in the system. It's because we've got so much industry around here. So I'm wondering if we could try, for essentially lack of a more appropriate term, some supplementary slip roads, if you will, within the industrial areas that just allow easy access for the trucks in these things to get in and out. We could do another one over here, although I don't really want people using this as a way into the city. To avoid that, we could change this into a one-way road, but that then forces them back out onto the highway, which isn't really what I want to happen at all. I mean, I've got a few cars using this little slip lane system up here now. It's 5 coming off this way, 6 even, 7. That's getting a little bit of use, isn't it? Which is nice to see. I can probably stick 2 lanes here as well. But either way, let's move into something of a network detailing time-lapse, reinstate all these little designs that Sid-I left. I would love to have this repeated again. Lots of hedging, change up the roads where necessary, refine some of the lane maths where we need it. Always look out for more supplementary slip road action as well. Decorate up the interchanges too, so they are kind of significant bits of city infrastructure. Otherwise, grab some snacks and a drink, and let's do some detailing. Guys, let's have a little look around the evolution of Rannoch's networks, shall we? A quick shout out for this viewpoint as well. Absolutely love seeing the highway kind of snake across the river like that as it kind of bends and then snaps back. Really nice viewpoint, that, isn't it? Either way, lots of detailing in each of the dumbbells, if you like. With a little bit of kind of a concrete base running around the bridge of the, well, around the supports of the bridge rather. With the airport aprons, which I really liked actually. I think that's quite a nice little aesthetic, isn't it? A big fan of that. And this interchange is getting some decent use. Lots of capacity here with an interchange this large and kind of curvy and flowy. It'll be good access this to get people back into over the bridge one day when that side of the city does exist. And then I think we will also prepare a big rail interchange here as well, allowing directionality here with this one, whilst also coming off into the downtown and maybe beyond as well. Yeah. So big rail interchange over the road interchange I think as well to come, which will be quite a fun project build. Our little industrial area here has had industrial evolution applied to it, and there's lots of concrete space to complement the commercial. I even did some light vanilla prop work using Find It, just behind these sewage treatment plants here, just to work on a bit of a detailed coastline. Quite nice, isn't it? Just expanding the pallets that are around. A little bit of overgrowth around here. And a really nice positioning for the waste processing facility, isn't it? Sits in very nicely against the highway there. With that done, we also have some pathwork behind here, and there's a real nice screenshot of the city here. Just how nice is this little street corner? I really love how all the keys kind of connect at different angles of the bridge, and then that kind of stops and starts a new key here, and the little path systems just at the end of the bridge. It's yeah, a really cute corner. I like that. It blends into the industry with this pathwork, which is getting lots of use. And I really, really like industrial evolution. It's just the best industry, isn't it? Really, really nice assets from above there. And then this sits here, and then goes around there to the parking. And it's pretty nice. I like it. Nice little industrial service unit over here, which is all getting used. We've also dropped in a cricket pitch and a library, just so we can begin a new community up here. Let me know what you think should fill this space of the highway. We've carved out probably a couple of builds in this space over here now. And these will be quite important builds as well, so let me know what you think they should be. Definitely more towards the medium density vibe, maybe another stadium district over here at some point. We're pretty far, I think, off of needing a university, so it's not likely to be a campus. Yeah, we've got half eligible to the 3,600. Maybe we're not too far off another campus, but we certainly need lots of residential here, so maybe something with Green Cities Residential has a bit of a medium density solution as we move towards the eventual high rise to occupy this space over here. So let me know about that, and then we've got lots more space to fill out here as well, as that all grows out, so very, very exciting indeed. Yes, then down the road, oh yes, sorry, also dropped in a metro station, which is a further connection of the line that runs from here, if you remember. And then that goes all the way down there as well. So checking out the second interchange, the traffic flow along the arterial is much smoother now. And even this one down here is freed up a little bit. It is still very, very busy, but until we can provide that secondary connection, which is just locked off by the tile here, it will still have a lot of pressure on it. I think when we do unlock that next tile, I'm going to turn this node here into a roundabout, and then we'll have some faster kind of national road network, kind of as a bit of a ring road really, and running against the river to meet up with this arterial as it comes down here. So people in this area of the city will have a faster kind of express road back toward this highway interchange, if you like. So coming into it, lots of detailing, bush lining, finished off-sidized detailing pattern over here, which I really, really enjoyed. These are the vegetation assets. They're just vanilla props. I actually had to go get the dropper tool because I couldn't find them. I forgot what they were called. It's these ones here. They're roof vegetation number 2. They're vanilla. You can find them with Find It. Very nice assets. And they make a great little kind of security edge for a garden, don't they? It's very nice to kind of box in overgrowth like that. Super cool aesthetic from Sedai. I dropped in a sign here as well. Welcome to Rannoch, of course. One of the wonderful signs we had in our competition. And then with this, the highway splits off here. We've got an evolution of the kind of octopus arms here, if you like, with little slip roads going off into the industrial area here, then off down this way where people can get on the national road. So it's getting pretty decent flow to it. There is one traffic light in the system, which is this one here, which is why this road tends to back up a little bit with the traffic light. But just so the arterial has time to flow, and then they let these group out, and then it stops again and everyone can carry on. So it's a nice little system. It's getting decent flow. Again, when we get over here, we should be able to have lots more connectivity, and then these arterials that are growing out now will come to meet up with this one, and then everyone just gets a little bit more pressure relieved with each subsequent connection. So it should start to calm down, but it's very busy through the middle of Rannoch with these highways and arterials running parallel. But we've definitely done a lot to alleviate that pressure. But either way, two very nice infrastructure projects today that have really helped future-proof us for some traffic. But that will do it for today. Massive shout out to all the patrons that support the channel, with a special roll call to Lou Adlam and O'Hay Casino. If you'd like to get involved in that, Instant Gaming and Patreon are both linked down below. Best ways to support the channel. Now, let me know what you think here. We've done some really interesting work with the roads today. I really like these kind of episodes, especially when you're opening new tiles. I find it really important to just map out that arterial spine, as it also really kind of helps isolate builds, like kind of like where we put the cricket pitch today. It just isolates kind of new areas for you to focus on and bring more personality to that particular build, rather than just endlessly zoning to fill that huge space in front of you. With these arterial spines beginning to flow into different areas, it just helps you kind of demarcate each development area, if you like, at least in my mind. That's how I kind of process, I think, the city building. And lots of fun detailing around road networks as well. I think it can be really fun getting stuck into all the actual builds themselves, but I think detailing interchanges is very therapeutic, and watching them flow is great fun as well. Either way, please do watch them flow with some cinematics, but I'll shut up and leave it there. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.